Welcome in again to Sig Daddy's Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Sig Daddy, and today we go over the top 5 matches, actually, my top 5 matches you must watch before you die. These are in no particular order. I have chosen these 5 matches, and I think these are the matches you need to see if you're a wrestling fan before you die. And then I have some honorable mentions to start before I start. Here's my honorable mentions before we start with the official top 5 list. First, any Omega Okada match from New Japan. That's a gimme kind of. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels from Unbreakable 2005. Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing. And Flair versus Becky Lynch. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Last Woman Standing from Evolution. And here's the top 5 matches that you must see before you die, in my opinion. Undertaker versus Mankind, King of the Ring. Really, this one is just crazy spots. It's just the most memorable Hell in a Cell match I can think of. It's the crazy spots, including Foley flying off the cell to ringside, through the table, getting chokeslammed through the cell with a chair coming into his face, and then getting dropped on the tacks by The Undertaker, and that sight of Mick Foley with his smiling grin with his tooth up in his nose. And also an interesting tidbit from that is also Terry Funk getting chokeslammed out of his shoes. It was just crazy. It just showed Mick Foley's incredible toughness, and it's just a very memorable match, and I think that's a match you should see before you die. The next match, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, a submission match from WrestleMania 13. This match made quite possibly the biggest star in professional wrestling history, the top drawings wrestler in professional wrestling history, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's infamous for the double turn where Bret turns heel. It's just great contrast in styles in this match, and Bret's technical prowess against Stone Cold Steve Austin's brawling, and then the resilience Austin shows at the end of fighting through the sharpshooter, blood in his face and in his eyes, and that's just the sight that lives on forever and will live on in infamy. And this really match that created the star that is Stone Cold Steve Austin and was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Next match on the list, Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. Just a awesome match. Just an awesome match between two of arguably the best in-ring professional wrestlers of all time. It was just a technical masterpiece with great drama, and then it was Angle continuing to reverse Shawn's offense into an ankle lock, and Shawn just willingness not to give up. And he kept coming back. He'd get so close, and then he'd go for a big move, and then Kurt would somehow reverse into an ankle lock, and then the end sequence. The end sequences including Angle hitting the angle slam on Michaels kicking out. He hits the angle slam from the second rope. Michaels kicks out. And then Kurt Angle telling Shawn to tap out, screaming at him to tap out, and then Shawn getting the super kick. Angle kicking out at the last millisecond, and then Angle eventually rising from the dead, getting that ankle locked in, and then making Shawn tap out after what seemed an eternity. Michaels continuing to fight, showing why he was Mr. WrestleMania. Great match between those two. That's one of the matches my personal favorite matches of all time. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. Next, a more recent one, a very recent one actually. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, NXT TakeOver New York. This was just great work from these two, and it brought Gargano's year-long journey to an epic climax. It was just great. He overcame the drama, overcame the odds of the Undisputed Era. He comes back from down 1-0. He kicks out of Cole's big stuff at the end. It was just great match between these two, and they had two really good matches after this. I just didn't think they lived up to this one. The first one was the best one, in my opinion, of all of them. And then including that is all the great kickouts and near falls by Gargano after Cole's big moves, and the double team from the Undisputed Era, and then the multiple last shots from Cole, and Gargano just showing why he's so resilient. And the crowd was just so emotionally invested into this match. And then the crazy exchanges between these two where they go back and forth, move for move with each other. Enziguri, super kicks, and all the crazy offense with these two. It was just beautiful. It was about as perfect match as you could probably see. It was just awesome between Gargano and Adam Cole. Gargano would win that match, and he'd win the NXT championship after that year-long journey. And then my last one, the TLC 2 from WrestleMania X7. It was just a beautiful, beautiful car crash. It was just one of the craziest matches you'll ever see, car crash, but it was such a great car crash. There's so many memorable spots that they replay all the time, including Edge's spear off the ladder on Jeff Hardy, Jeff Hardy's swanton from the ladder through Rhino and Spike Dudley, Lita's involvement with Spike hitting him with a chair, getting 3D'd, Spike Dudley with the Dudley dog, with Christian through the table. And then it was the conclusion where Matt Hardy and Bubba Ray Dudley go flying through the tables at ringside. And it was just, oh my goodness, like, how are these guys getting through this match? And then Edge and Christian ended up winning that match and winning the World Tag Team Championships. It was just a great match, a beautiful car wreck, so many great moments. And I just think that's one you have to see if you're a wrestling fan. And if you were a wrestling fan born in the mid to late 90s, you have to watch that match. That match has three of the quite possibly the greatest tag teams of all time, and it's just an awesome match. And they always put up good matches. And with the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 2000, the first TLC match, and they didn't know how they were going to live up to that here. They lived up to that and more, and I think that's a match you should see before you die. So my 5 matches you must see before you die. TLC 2 from WrestleMania X7 between the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole from NXT TakeOver New York. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 21. Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, a submission match from WrestleMania 13. And then Undertaker and Mankind, Hell in a Cell, King of the Ring, 1997. Those are my 5. If you're a wrestling fan, and you have to watch a certain matches before you die, these are the matches you want to remember. These are some of the greatest matches you'll see, and some of the most historic matches you'll ever see. On the next episode, I have my top 5 most underutilized stars in WWE. I've seen this. I've seen the lack of TV time for certain guys, and I want to express my opinion on that kind of thing, because I've seen these guys that are not being used correctly and not being utilized on TV like they should. I'll let you know about that. That'll be coming up in a week or so. But make sure to subscribe to my podcast on either Podbean, iTunes, or Spotify. They can all be found. Sig Daddy's Wrestling Show, and now I'm now on Twitter, and you could follow me there. My username is Sig Daddy Wrestle, at Sig Daddy Wrestle. So you can follow me on there for podcast posts and other information. But yep, I'm on there, Sig Daddy Wrestle. But until next time, this is Sig Daddy signing off. Thank you for listening, and so long, everybody.